But Colonel Sodhi, since we were discussing the troop formation, really the way in which Putin has attacked, would you like to take what Major Shah was saying forward? Would you say that Putin perhaps also doesn't want a NATO retribution? He also doesn't want more, grief than he's already getting from UN and other agencies? Because personally, I find it very doubtful. Putin is a person who doesn't seem to give two hoots about anything, and NATO, of course, is very obviously dragging its feet. It looks like there is no chance, just like Crimea, even if Ukraine falls, there is no chance that NATO is going to send any troops on ground.
Meenakshi, Putin is, like you rightly brought out, Putin is not bothered about whether the NATO or America or United Nations. The reason being, he is prepared for this war since 2014 onwards. Now, I'll just take 3-4 minutes to go a little background and then come specific to your question. When in 1991, 26 December, USSR split into 15 countries, that was the year when Putin joined active politics. Before that, he was a lieutenant in the KGB. Now, he joined active politics in the year USSR broke up into 15 countries. After that, he has risen as the president of Russia. Now, every Russian knows the pain of its own country getting divided into 15 different countries. Now, with this background, in 1990, Mikhail Gorbachev, the then president of USSR, was promised by NATO and America that we will not expand any further. NATO will not expand any further. But since then, NATO today has a membership of 30 countries. Now, with countries like Ukraine, which were almost there on the NATO membership list, Russia felt threatened. And in 2014, when Putin annexed Crimea, that was part of an overall plan to ensure the safety and security of Russia. Again, at the same time, I would like to say, war is not the reason. I don't justify a war. But, we have to look at the entire background. Now, what happened in 2014, why Putin took Crimea was for the reason that it wanted to control the Black Sea. Now, Black Sea is a very important body of water for Russia.
Yeah.
Meenakshi, on the northern borders of Russia, the sea coastline is 24,000 kilometers long, which is on the Arctic Ocean. Now, Arctic Ocean, being in close proximity to the North Pole, is frozen with ice for 9 months out of a year. This means only for 3 months in a year can ships, sail in the Arctic Ocean. So that part of the, the use of water, sea water for Russia is out. So now Black Sea is even more important in this backdrop because Black Sea connects to the Atlantic Ocean, which are warm waters, and around the year sailing can be done. Now, Putin, being a military officer and an astute politician, fully understood the importance of Black Sea. And what he did in 2014, he annexed Crimea, which till then was a state in Ukraine, and he made it as its 85th federal subject, which is equivalent to the Indian state. Now, having made Crimea as its state, he now controls the Black Sea. Now, if we see the map of the western neighbors of Russia, the Black Sea comes down to the Sea of Marmara.
But after that, the straits are anyway, it's really Turkey which has a stake. So, yes. Turkey also, do you see it playing an important role?
Yeah, Meenakshi, that's a very good question. Turkey, in spite of being a member of NATO, is on very friendly terms with Russia. That is the reason till now it has not stopped both the straits, the Bosporus Strait and the Dardanelles Straits. Now, the Bosporus and the Dardanelles Straits are the two straits which connect Black Sea to the Mediterranean Sea, and onward it goes to the Atlantic Ocean. So because of the good terms that Turkey has with Russia, it has not blocked the two states, whereas as per the Treaty of Montreux in 1936, it can if it wants, because it is a war. But till now, Turkey has not declared it as a war, because the moment Turkey also says it's war, then as per the Montreux Convention of 1936, it will have to block both the straits of Bosporus and Dardanelles. So having said that,
So, since you're speaking of the significance of these two straits, we'll discuss that in greater details, but Zelensky doesn't seem to be giving up at all. We have breaking news coming in. Zelensky has posted a video. He's posted this video from his Kyiv office. He's been, speaking out for quite some time, and once again, he has posted another video. We have, of course, that video also playing out on the screens for you. Unfortunately, we'll not be playing out his reaction, because mostly it will be in Ukrainian. He says, "I'm here to stay. I am in Kyiv. I am not hiding." He says that, he'll continue fighting. Major Mohommed Shah, end of the day, I know we are jumping many topics, and we'll come back to the significance of Black Sea as well, but when you speak of just Zelensky, since a minute ago we were discussing Putin, the traits of the man, why he has chosen this type of strategy where he has limited air attacks, where he's taken a limited number of forces inside of Ukraine. But when you speak of Zelensky also, so very interesting, he's emerged as a hero. Whatever be the outcome of this war, in the game of perception, when you look really at a global opinion, Zelensky has won by towing this line that I stand for my country. And would you say, as someone who's been erstwhile associated with the military and of course continues to serve the country till date, sir, when you have a strong leader leading from the front, instilling confidence in his troops, in his men, it actually helps the morale, because many were not thinking, many, as I said, had this fallacy that Ukrainian forces may not be able to stand up to Russia, and now you're seeing every civilian, everyone in Ukraine ready to fight Russia.
Meenakshi, you have a point over there, but there's a difference between foolishness and bravery, a difference between leadership and management, a difference between leadership in the right way and leadership in misguiding people. Now, at the same time, there's something known as tactical withdrawal, which we are taught in academy for our training. In fact, Colonel Sodhi had taught us that as well when he was my instructor in academy. So tactical withdrawal is when you know when defeat is inevitable. You should know when to turn back. You cannot just go on further on to death. And yes, go and sacrifice yourself for the nation, fine, that's most welcome, go ahead. It's a matter of pride to get martyred for your nation. But you cannot endanger the lives and security of your family, of innocent civilians, of women and children. You cannot do that. That is not, I term as leadership. Giving weapons to civilians, well, time was telling that, okay, yes, he was putting on a tough fight, yes, but giving weapons to civilians, it's a very, very serious business. It is not that you give an air gun to somebody and tell them to go and kill birds or a catapult. It is, you can have accidental fires, you can shoot your own neighbor by mistake, you can shoot your own self by mistake. It is not as simple as that. Now, I'll give this analogy very quickly, Meenakshi. One is, I am a leader, so I tell my men that you guys will not drink, you will not smoke, you'll be disciplined during your parade time. That's leadership. But if I'm a drug addict, and I'm encouraging everybody else who is having drugs, that is not good leadership. That is, in fact, further on. And people who are making President Zelensky a hero, let me tell them one thing. In a war, nobody is a hero. Nobody emerges as a hero. And at the end of the day, people who are adding fuel to the fire by shouting war and we're not realizing they are propagating and encouraging a war of bloodshed and damage and destruction further.
Major Shah, I'm not someone who, has had any association with defense or military, but from outside, when you think of citizens of a country, a president making such statements, it does instill confidence in the people. The result, many have been saying it's inevitable, but is it inevitable? Looking at what's happening currently in Ukraine, we have some more updates coming in, some translations coming in from President Zelensky's reaction there. We are also getting to know that he has said that he will be addressing the UK Parliament. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, he has said that he's going to deliver a speech to the UK House of Commons. It's going to be at 10:30 p.m. I'm not too sure if it's IST or not today. That's the latest breaking news coming in right now. Colonel Sodhi, before we slip into a short commercial break, a very, very quick question from you. Do you see that, this upcoming update which has just come right now, the fact that Zelensky is going to address the UK Parliament, do you see at all this changing the course of war, or will it once again end at applaud, end at a standing ovation, and that's about it? No ground troops, no support, which we have seen till date from NATO members.
Meenakshi, this address of Zelensky to the UK House of Commons is as symbolic and cosmetic as the earlier addresses of his to the various countries and UN has been. For the simple reason being that no country into NATO is going to jump into this war, because of the simple reason that Putin has threatened them so well. If we remember, on 24th February, as the Russian forces were invading Ukraine, in a televised address to the world, Putin said that any country coming to the aid of Ukraine will meet with consequences never seen in the history. Well, he didn't say it off the cuff. He meant what he said, because with the highest number of nuclear arsenal weapons in his belt and latest weapons like the RS-28 Samrat intercontinental ballistic missiles, the Avangard missile system, the S-400 missile systems, every country in the world knows that Putin means business. anyone who's going to attempt to send its military boots on Ukraine will be met with a bloody nose from Russia, which no country is willing to take on, because after all, for every other country, it is not their war, which is practical. It is a war between Ukraine and Russia, with these two warring nations have to come to a negotiating table and settle it down. So having said that, this address is symbolic and cosmetic. It will not have any effect. NATO will not send its forces, because Putin has prepared for this war very well, not since last month or 2 months, since 2014, even much before, when Russia broke up, when USSR broke up into 15 countries in 1991, and NATO did not stop expanding its members to the Far Eastern Europe.